20 years ago, buying something meant one very simple thing. It was yours. You bought a song, you owned it. Bought a movie, it was yours forever. Software, a car, you handed over the cash, and the only thing left to do was use it. End of story. But something quietly changed.
Think about today. You don't buy music anymore, do you? You subscribe to it. You don't buy movies, you stream them. Even software, you're basically just renting access to it month after month after month.
And here's the crazy part. Sometimes, even after you've paid for something, you can just lose access to it. A game you bought, poof, disappears. A movie, deleted from your library. Even a physical feature built right into your own car can suddenly get locked behind a paywall. A product you bought outright can literally become a paperweight just because a company decides they're done supporting it. And the strangest thing, we just kind of accepted this, almost without noticing.
A generation ago, companies fought tooth and nail to sell us products. Today, the world's biggest companies are fighting to make sure we never actually own them. So why? Is this just the natural evolution of tech, or did these companies discover a hidden, much more powerful mechanism? A business model where the customer just keeps paying forever. Welcome to MarketMindLab.
Let's rewind a bit. For pretty much all of human history, ownership was the absolute rock-solid foundation of commerce. A maker created something, a buyer paid for it, and that was it. Transaction over. A farmer bought a tractor, a family bought a dining table, you went out and bought a book. The relationship between the buyer and the seller had a hard, clear ending. But then, the digital revolution came along and totally broke the rules. Which leads us right into part one, the digital dilemma, a profitable problem.
See, digital products had a fundamental flaw. They were way too easy to copy. In the physical world, a company sells a specific product exactly one time. A record label presses a CD, a tech company puts software into a physical cardboard box. But digital technology, it completely erased the cost of reproduction. A single file could be copied 1,000,000 times for free. And that created a really dangerous question for businesses. If a customer buys something once, why on earth should they ever pay you again? Software companies were really the first to hit this wall. Take Microsoft Office as an example. For decades, the deal was simple. You bought it, you installed it, and you owned that specific version. You could buy Office in 2007 and happily keep typing away on it a decade later. For you, the customer, absolutely fantastic. But for Microsoft, it was terrifying. You were too satisfied. Companies absolutely despise uncertainty, and it's incredibly hard to predict next year's revenue when your customers only buy your product once every 10 years.
So we hit part two, the domino effect. The shift to access. Faced with this threat, the industry started desperately searching for a new model. And they found it in one incredibly powerful, stabilizing idea, recurring revenue. They asked themselves, how do you turn a one-time buyer into a permanent customer? Well, instead of selling software once for a huge upfront cost, say $500, what if they just charged a tiny amount every single month? You, the customer, think, hey, it's only $10. But the company thinks this person is going to pay us every month for the rest of their life. A single purchase is just a transaction, but a subscription, that creates a relationship, and permanent relationships are endlessly more valuable.
One of the most dramatic turning points in all of this was Adobe. For years and years, professional designers dropped serious cash to buy programs like Photoshop upfront. But in 2013, Adobe made a massive, really controversial pivot to the Creative Cloud. You couldn't just buy Photoshop anymore, you had to subscribe to it. A lot of users were furious. They argued, rightfully so, that they shouldn't have to rent software they used to own. But for Adobe, it was magic. It instantly transformed wild, unpredictable sales into a massive, totally predictable stream of monthly cash. The customer dynamic changed overnight. And software was just the first domino to fall. This exact same model spread everywhere, like wildfire. Just look at music. You used to buy CDs, then Spotify showed up. And now millions of us just pay monthly to access someone else's giant digital library. Movies did the exact same thing. Gone are the massive DVD shelves replaced by Netflix and streaming. We traded our physical collections for digital access. Now it's even infecting the physical world. Cars. For a century, buying a car meant you own the machine. Now, modern cars are packed with software, and some brands are actually charging monthly fees to unlock features, like heated seats, that physically already exist in the car parked in your own driveway. The modern economy isn't just about selling products anymore. It's about gatekeeping access.
Which brings us to Section 3, the psychology of renting, changing human behavior.
So if these subscriptions are this wildly profitable for companies, why on earth do millions of us just willingly go along with it? Why choose to pay forever instead of just buying something once? Well, the secret lies in human psychology and how our brains process loss. In behavioral economics, there's a concept called the pain of paying. Literally, when we physically hand over a chunk of cash, our brain registers a negative emotional reaction. It hurts. But digital subscriptions, they completely bypass that mental alarm system. They take a large, painful payment and slice it up into tiny, invisible monthly bites. You'd probably agonize over spending $500 today, but you won't even blink at 10 different $10 subscriptions. Think about it. A saved credit card on file, an auto-renew toggled on, a small monthly charge that just quietly drains in the background. The transaction becomes invisible, and an invisible payment is so much easier to just let slide. This reveals the absolute genius of the subscription economy. The default state becomes infinitely more powerful than an active decision. Making the choice to buy something takes mental effort, but keeping a subscription, that's effortless. Companies know we naturally avoid the hassle of comparing alternatives, migrating our data, or navigating a complicated cancellation page, so we just stay. The real takeaway here is that companies aren't just selling products anymore. They are selling habits. Netflix isn't just selling you a movie, they're selling you your default Friday night routine. Spotify is selling the background soundtrack to your entire life. A software tool becomes the literal foundation of how a business operates. Once a service weaves itself that deeply into your daily habits, leaving becomes almost unthinkable.
Moving on to part 4, the illusion of control. What do we actually own?
This massive shift has quietly created a really unsettling problem, and we're only just now starting to wake up to it. Imagine paying full price for a digital game. You play it, you love it for years, then one random Tuesday, the company decides to shut down their servers, and boom, the game is gone. Or you buy an expensive smart home device, but the manufacturer just stops pushing software updates, turning it into a brick. We all kind of assume that clicking buy on a digital movie means we own it, but legally, most of the time, you're just buying a license to access that content under very specific conditions. The physical device might be yours, but the actual experience, that belongs to someone else entirely.
And this completely obliterates the old balance of power. For centuries, ownership meant control, period. If you bought a physical book, the publisher couldn't sneak into your house and rip out the pages. If you bought a chair, the furniture store couldn't charge you a microtransaction every time you sat down. The old model was simple. The company creates a product, you buy it, you control it. This new digital model flips that entirely on its head. Today, the company builds a platform, you join it, and they maintain total control over your access. Now, to be fair, it's not a complete villain story. Subscriptions have genuinely made some things a lot more accessible. You can use world-class professional software or listen to literally any song ever recorded without needing thousands of dollars up front. But the real question we need to ask isn't just, are subscriptions good or bad? It's who holds the power now? For these companies, the answer is clear. Subscriptions offer the holy grail of business, predictability. When you have 10 million subscribers, you know exactly how much money you're making next month, next quarter, next year. Investors absolutely drool over that kind of stability. A customer who pays you a little bit every single month is mathematically way more valuable than someone who just buys your product once and walks away. That's the real reason every company is scrambling to turn their products into services. Predictability is power. And honestly, the next phase of this might be even wilder. We are rapidly moving toward a future where we just don't own things anymore. Instead, we'll rent access to our cars, our smart homes, maybe even our digital identities and personal data. Every single thing around us could be tethered to a monthly service fee. And the tech giants who control those digital toll booths, they are going to become vastly more powerful than companies that simply manufacture physical goods. The craziest part about all of this massive economy-altering transition happened in total silence. There was no grand announcement, no single day where ownership officially died. It just happened, one industry at a time. A song here, a movie there, a piece of software, a video game, a heated steering wheel. Just tiny, incremental shifts, almost invisible, until one day we all looked around and realized, wait a minute, we don't buy things the way we used to.
Sure, every subscription solves a problem. It gives us convenience, saves us time, offers instant gratification. But every subscription also hooks you into a relationship, and every relationship has a cost.
The absolute titans of tomorrow won't be the companies that make the best physical products. They'll be the ones that embed themselves so deeply into our daily routines that we simply never stop paying them. Because the biggest, most profound business shift of our lifetime is this: the most powerful companies in the world no longer need to sell products at all.
So the next time you open up a streaming app, start your car, or log into your computer, take a second and ask yourself, do I actually own this, or am I just paying rent in a digital world that someone else controls? What do you think? Would you rather own fewer things, but own them completely, or have unlimited access to everything as long as you keep paying the monthly fee? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, because that is the exact choice that's going to define our entire future.